Last week, I broke my S23 Ultra. Whilst it was being repaired, I decided to fully switch and commit to using the Galaxy A54. Accounts, apps, wearables, everything came across with me as I moved from the S23 Ultra to the A54. I was hoping that I could potentially use the A54 and it would maybe stave me off having to switch back for a while. However, there are things that prevented me from doing so. So in this video, it's all about my 24 hours with the Galaxy A54. Let's go. Let's start off with the switching process. Samsung has made switching pretty much painless. The Smart Switch app, which allows you to take everything from your old phone to your new one, has become a breeze. You can copy accounts with the press of a button. You can bring all your apps and your data across, your photos, all your memories, everything can go from one phone to the next. The mechanics of switching Samsung has down to a science. There was something during the setup process though that I noticed and it put me off immediately. The A54 must have some sort of contractual agreement with certain app developers where you are prompted to install apps directly before the phone is finished setting up. I detested this. This definitely doesn't exist on the S23. I can understand where this might happen, considering that the cost of the phone is a lot lower than S23 and S23 Ultra. Samsung might need to make up the difference somehow, but I think you need to find another way. The user experience being told to install these apps, you can unselect them, which I did. It's just not a clean way to start your new smartphone experience. So that immediately put me on the back foot. The good thing is though, One UI is very consistent. So a lot of the things that I like doing on my S23 Ultra, edge panels are there. You have quick launch for the camera, it's there. Some of my favorite camera features like single take, there. So I didn't miss out or think I was missing out too much on the things I like doing with my phone. That wasn't until I started using it. The fluidity of One UI 5.1 on the A54 is awful. Everything on the phone hung for a moment or two. Whether that be scrolling through Twitter, which I do a lot, and I rely on my social presence on Twitter to try and build the community of this YouTube channel. I was trying to run on sand. You know, you can run on concrete and it's nice and fast and smooth and you get somewhere quicker. Or you then run on sand and you're laboring, it's harder, using more energy. That's what it felt like. One thing too that I really noticed was the display just isn't as crisp. And I, again, watch a lot of content and I use my display for a lot of things. And you just notice the difference side by side in the A54's display versus the S23 Ultras. Not to mention as well the design. I really like the subtle curves of the S23 Ultra versus the very thick flat sides of the A54. So that plays its part too. I really didn't like how it felt in the hand compared to the Ultra. With the cameras, I didn't necessarily get to use it long enough to get a long-term overview of how they perform in terms of capturing the photo or in terms of output. What I was able to ascertain though was just how slow the cameras are compared to the flagship S23 Ultra. Every time I tried to capture something that was moving around, the camera almost realized that that was happening. And then I'd press the shutter button and it would just hang for like 2 seconds. By the time the photo actually got taken, my daughter was already somewhere else. And I remember taking it to the football and thinking, yeah, I'll give this a go at the football. And it just doesn't capture what I wanted it to capture or how I wanted it to capture. And I also really missed the zoom. I really like the flexibility of the Ultra's cameras to get from where I'm standing to where I want to see further away. Particularly when it comes to at football, I miss the zoom enormously. Also, what I really noticed with the A54 was video capture, again, wasn't ideal. In certain situations, it would do a decent job, and you can see some of that in the S23 versus A54 video that I made a couple weeks ago. It can, in certain scenarios, capture really nice depth of field because the sensor size has gotten a little bit bigger. But the overall stability of the videos, and by stability I mean stabilization, I like to shoot in 4K 30, all my family content, all my YouTube content, all 4K 30 frames per second. A54 does not have 4K 30 stabilization available. and you can see the difference in when you're actually just handheld walking. How much better the S23 Ultra is compared to the A54. So I need that in my smartphone usage, which is a shame because I really thought the A54 could have had a longer life ahead of it. So that takes us to why I switched back very quickly. I didn't take long after I'd given it that full day to go back to the S23 Ultra. Had I enjoyed the experience, I possibly could have given it a longer go. I could have extended my usage out to maybe do a long-term review. However, I feel like that wouldn't be an authentic use of my time. I don't value what that phone offered me, which is a shame because for the price point it was, I potentially could have maybe sold my Ultra, pocketed some money, and still had a good smartphone experience for me. But the way it performed during my usage, I just couldn't see myself using it longer term. So I had to stop using it and go back to my Ultra, and I'm very glad I did. Some things that I really missed. One, the 45-watt fast charging really does help in a pinch with the S23 Ultra, but also wireless charging. I really didn't think I'd miss wireless charging, and I probably wouldn't have missed it as much if it wasn't for today's sponsor, Swan Scout. This is the Swan Scout Samsung 3-in-1 portable charging station, and this charging station is designed for everyday portable use. You can simultaneously charge up to 3 devices at once, including your smartphone, your Galaxy Buds, and your Galaxy Watch. Out of the box, you get your plug and your USB-C to C cable. The plug is nice and compact, which means it will fit in most spaces. Looking around the unit, you can see it does fold up really compact, so it will be really portable. And of course, the benefit to this one is you get a little clock at the front. The watch actually gets to charge wirelessly on this dock, whilst the phone and the buds will charge via USB-C. This charging station provides 25-watt super fast charging and will charge the phone to a power of 20 watts and 3.3 watts for the watch and 3 watts for the buds. It can fold pretty much completely flat and it is really, really lightweight. With the clock, you get 4 levels of brightness, and you also get the clock to display what devices are charging. Another really big benefit to this is that if you decide not to want to use it as a charger, you can just rest your phone and watch content and use it as a stand for your smartphone. To buy one of these for yourself, visit the link in my description. They're really handy and saved me on my trip on the cruise just recently. And the last absolutely crucial point about the S23 Ultra that I will not trade in for an A series phone of any kind is the S Pen. The S Pen just gives me the ultimate flexibility to do way more with my phone than I could do without it. And I know it's not something you probably use, or I even use day to day, but just knowing that pen is in there means that I have a remote shutter button in my pocket. I have a clicker for presentations when I'm in a pinch in my pocket. I have a music player that I can click and control in my pocket. And I have the ultimate notebook sitting there, ready to go at a moment's notice. So, in essence, the S23 Ultra suits me and my needs better than any other phone that's currently available. And that includes Samsung's cheaper, more affordable options. I'd happily recommend an A54 to someone who doesn't have extensive smartphone usage like myself, because you can get some good usage out of it, particularly if you're not used to the level of fluidity that flagship phones can give you. But they do give you that, and they give me that, and that's why I switch back. Thank you very much again for coming and dropping by this week. Plenty more stuff still to come in the future. Make sure you drop a like and also subscribe. Subscribing is your best way to stay up to date with what I'm doing. Also hit that bell icon, that way you'll be notified when a new video drops. I'm aiming to do videos every week. See how I go. Sometime in the future I may drop some more, particularly around maybe Fold 5 and Flip 5 launch. Who knows when that might be. Going off history though, we're not too far away from it. Thank you very much everyone. Hope to see you again next week. Between now and then, make sure you come follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one.